Alright folks, how are we doing? It's Shabash and welcome back to the channel, it's Orna again. Today we're doing some endgame Mage gameplay as a bit of a showcase to show you what it's like playing the Heretic at tier 10. So we're starting off with Heretic and we're currently Heretic Magi. We're going to do a little bit of world farming to start off with. It's the worst showcase we're going to do today, so bear with us. Basically we're going to go full experience gear as well as taking some Orn gear, Reaper's Robe and Lost Helmet. We've got some nice poly boots with some Azure Pinions in just to increase our magic a little bit higher. Morrigan Scroll just to increase our mage as well. Yeah, the most annoying thing about Heretic and world farming is that you need to spend some time to get your mana down all the way for Iconoclast. So for all your tier 9 mobs, low health mobs, we can just use magic strikes. Costs, what, 7 mana? Pretty ridiculous as Heretic Magi. We've just gone Heretic Magi, it's a pretty typical class. You can see we can still one-shot Chimera with our largest multi-tremor skill. If you haven't got multi-tremor 3 yet, you probably need 2 hits to take down any chimeras, and obviously more if you've got berserk mobs coming up. Actually, let's use a Scroll of Chaos actually. So against low health enemies, you can just use magic strikes, 7 mana, should take everything down. Mid health enemies, you can take your largest single hitting skill. I'm using Tremor 6. Get that faction element bonus. Berserk mobs, I think Earth is immune. Okay, so I know not everybody likes world farming, but this is just a showcase. For high health enemies, use our largest multi-hitting spell. For me, it's multi-tremor 3. Also the hardest, also takes the most mana as well. For most other enemies, you can use just magic strikes. Basic magic strikes cost 7 mana, so for all the tier 9 enemies, it takes you 7 mana, and you get some nice experience. We've got Transference 3 as well to do elementalist damage. That's super nice. For chimeras, they're probably the tankiest tier 10 enemy. You can use your highest multi-hitting skill. If you don't have the multi-tremor 3 or the same for your element, you might need a couple of turns to take down chimeras. But you know, it's not too bad, to be honest with you. We can just use greater mana potions to heal up. Big stat giving us some nice XP. Okay, here's a berserk chimera. I'm not sure how we're going to do here. Okay, it kind of takes us down. We don't have any... I think world farming is probably Heretic's weakest suit, so we're getting this out of the way first up. A lot of people don't even like world farming anyway, so the trick is get down into low mana. Use your hardest hitting skills. I wouldn't use Heretic to world farm personally. Let's finish off with this Chimera. And yeah, we can one-shot Chimera even with 2 Arisen Monster Tombs and just using an Arisen Witch's Staff. Alright, so for raiding, I've switched to the Raider spec because in my kingdom we don't have very high raid limits. Quick look at the gear, going with Briny Pendant, Ring of Anwin. For raiding Morrigan, that's to make sure we don't lose turns to Blight, Freeze, Paralysis, etc. She likes to use that a lot. Then we've got Poly Gear. Obviously if you have Arisen Sturgis Cuirass, you can use that. Highest Mage Weapon, Arisen Shield, Old Northern Crown to stop our magic getting down. So yeah, only 10% raid limit. I think if it was higher, you might consider... I'd say if it was higher in your kingdom raid limit, then you consider Magi. But for only 10%, it's going to take forever to get down into Iconoclast range. And so we're just going to buff up here. Ward of Baylor, get the elemental resistances. Just looking for lightning. Ward of Baylor 2 is really nice compared to Ward of Anwin. Usually anyway. So, okay, there we go. That should be fairly good. Stunned is really the only annoying one. Yeah, I generally always use Divine Bastion, get the 100% ward absorption, just to be safe. Let's finish buffing up. I use a Magic Tonic as well. You can use Wyvern Speed too if you want. I just hate it when it doesn't proc. And then this is where X health potions actually become useful because we don't want to we don't want to heal up our mana at all. So we took a massive hit just there. That's where ward becomes useful. And now we're just trying to get our mana down below half. And we're using multi-tremor 3. If you're lower level, you can use multi-tremor 2. If you're keeping up sorrow charges, you can definitely use sorrow, especially sorrow 3. It's still going to be absolutely fine. I just don't really kill that many monsters anymore, so I am using multi-tremor, my highest multi-tremor of your, obviously of your faction. And once we've got that Berserk 3 buff, yeah, we're doing absolutely decent damage. Transference here and there. We're going to finish with a big hit, Fate Cataclysm with Deific Channel. Deific Channel is one of those skills where you use it once at the start of the day, it lasts one turn, and then you don't use it for the rest of the day. That's what it's like with me anyway. So yeah, you're going to have to pot a little bit more often than if you were using Magi. I think there's someone else attacking here. Let's see if we can get a big hit in just to show you what Fate Cataclysm can do. Okay, we got another chance. I think we're over the raid limit, aren't we? Over the damage limit. Okay. So raiding with Heretic, very nice and simple. Heretic is naturally tanky, so that large mana pool helps us get a lot of ward. Easy to buff up, hide behind that. If you've got higher damage limits in your kingdom, yeah, you can use Magi. It just takes a lot longer to get down into Iconoclast range, that's why I like Raider. And obviously the 50% damage buff from Berserk 3 is super nice. Because we've got Life Siphon, that counteracts the massive dot fairly nicely as well. I forgot to mention, if you're raiding with Magi, you've got extra skill slots, so you can put in the individual elemental ward skills, pretty useful for Morrigan. If you don't have Gilgamesh with Ward of Balo 2, I prefer to just get all the 4 elements straight away and then use Fortify 3 to build up ward turns. Alright, we're going to do hard mode boss dungeon here as well. Let's go through the gear. We're taking maximum experience items, Arisen Monster Tombs, and Arisen Witch's Staff. The rest I've got Polygon gear here as well, Arisen Shields, Old Northern Crown, all of which you can get fairly easily. Okay, so hard boss mode, let's have a look. And that's probably the worst mob that we could have had first up. I'm just going to kill this mob straight off the bat, I think. Or not. Yeah, okay. Cockatrice, if they put you in petrification, it's just super annoying. Then we can go into ward and buffing up. Remember to take Wyvern Speed 2 or Magic Boost. I don't have it on me. So just to be super safe, we're going to use 100% ward absorption. Ward of Orna, I'm sure, should be fine. And then because we're Magi here, we've got so much mana, we can just build up ward turns at the start. The most annoying thing with Heretic, again, with experience gear, is that we're not going to have... Yeah, exactly, we're not going to have immunity to Blight or those other status afflictions. So we just got to watch for that. I quite like using the Fallen God skills that give you ward turns. Just keeps your ward high. Yeah, going up against Fallen Gods, you can obviously bring out spells of each element. I've not bothered to do that. Don't think you need it. We've got Transference 3, which is elementless, so you can damage everything with that. Drain 3 as well, keep your health topped up. Blind, slightly annoying. Worst case, we have Diffuse Ward as well, coming from Gilgamesh. That will help us. That will help us regain health and mana if we really get super low. I'm currently missing out on 25% extra damage here. I might just pop out and go and bring it back in. Yeah, just gonna get magic boost in here. Alright, we got magic boost now. We're slowly making our way into Iconoclast range, and yeah, we've got magic strikes with +7 mana, so really you shouldn't have too many problems ever having spells to cast. Plenty of ward turns still, full ward, transference 3, really nice skill to have, keeps your ward topped up. And we're just raking in the experience here, and the Orns coming in really nice. Obviously, you can wear Band of Gods alongside the Arisen Monster Tombs, or 2 Band of Gods if you want to increase your Orn gain. But you know, there you have hard boss mode dungeon. Helps if you remember all your buff skills to have, but super easy with Heretic Magi. Okay, so Heretic isn't the fastest at going through the arena. We're going to try out a sequencer spec here, and just shows the gear. So we've got 2 staffs. We're going to try and see how many double hits we can get in. We also have the extra bonus that we get from sequencer increase in our magic higher. You only get that with using 2 staffs, so you can't use something like a Crow Song or a Fey Crow Song. 2 Arisen Rings for maximum magic, and then we're using 1 Fey Banshee Robe to try and lower our mana down. Bit of wards from Polyboots and Old Northern Crown. We don't want to run out of mana, but we don't want to take ages and ages running Magi to get down to mana. That's the one thing where Heretic doesn't really excel at. So running through the arena, we take the Mighty Mimic Pet to cast Mimic's Mischief turn 1. We've got Creative Snotra if we need extra magic. Transference 3, Transference 2 in case we get low on mana, but we've got 3000 mana even with Sequencer, even with gear lowering hundreds of mana. So we shouldn't run out of mana. Transference 3 is going to be our main spell. High penetration, elementless damage, absolutely perfect. We've got Stunned Art at the bottom there in case we come up across some dodgy boys. So I'll use Flare against the Beowulf, that's not a good idea. Okay, so let's see how many names we can take in 2 minutes. So Gilgamesh, high health, we go with Snotra first up. Okay, and this is one nice thing, they use Gunner. Our magic damage is going to do even more damage. If you catch people with a Chimera up of course. Then the dot is going to kill them if they have a second chance. Beowulfs aren't going to last. Oh, another sequencer maybe? You don't really know just by the sprite, but hopefully. So when you get the double hits, it's super nice. Flare 3 is a risk going up against heretics and deities. Immune 3 times in a row, okay. A bit savage. Okay, let's try killing this Gilgamesh without using Snotra. Transference 3, very high, consistent damage. Another chance. There we go. Fairly easy, so that's 1 minute down. Okay, we can't one-hit Beowulfs unless the double chance procs. He had a lot of ward, that guy. I don't even know if that was a Beowulf, to be honest. It probably was. 14k health. So you can see I'm not even using Snotra first up. From now on we will, because we want to take them down turn 1. Another Beowulf, another double chance not proccing. Don't use Flare 3 against Beowulfs. Okay, nice. So Transference 3 is perfect against deities, heretics. Pure elementalist damage. Anytime we use Flare, yes, they are immune to it. So, okay, 2 minutes is up, but let's just finish this fight. And let's do one more. Feeling lucky. Player 3 I really like, to be honest with you. It's not very much used. Obviously a lot of people are immune to it at tier 10, but you can quite often cast Blight on the enemy. Alright, so you can see it's definitely not Realm Shifter Swash, but you can go through the arena fairly easily if you've got 2 decent staffs. Like, we never even got down into Iconoclast range at all. So imagine doing that with Magi, it would take you so many turns to get extra damage. Whereas with Sequencer, yes, I've got very good weapons, but with 2 decent weapons at tier 10 you can still run through the arena fairly nicely. I'm not sure if I'd recommend Sequencer for doing war fights. It's a bit riskier. You don't have as much defense, you don't have as much ward without the shield, so depending on your matchup you might choose. So just take a look at your matchup, see who you're fighting against. Okay, so that's Heretic. Solid at doing dungeons, solid at raiding, not too bad in PvP depending on your matchups. World farming is a bit on the slow side. Overall it's a really solid class, I really love Heretic. One thing Heretic is really good at that we haven't done here today is endless dungeons. So pushing further into tier 10, doing endless dungeons is actually one of the best ways to get experience and orns. If you want to see a standalone video with Heretic doing endless dungeons, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I'm Shabash and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.